Firstly, I will report about one of the biggest drone strikes that Kiev regime, with assistance of NATO, conducted on Russia to strike deep into Russian Federation. TASS news agency is reporting, based on latest update of Defense Ministry, that air defense systems on duty intercepted 249 drones past night that were launched by NATO and their NATO proxy Kiev regime to strike on Russian territory. I can give you some details on that. So from 11 p.m. yesterday late evening to 7 a.m. this morning, on November 25th, air defense systems intercepted and destroyed 249 Ukrainian fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles, according to Defense Ministry. 116 of them were destroyed over the Black Sea. Most likely, direction of those drones were Crimea. 76 drones were intercepted over the Krasnodar region, 23 over the Crimea. 23 did reach Crimean Peninsula and were intercepted there. 16 drones were intercepted over the Rostov region, 7 over the Bryansk, 4 drones each over the Kursk and Sea of Azov, 2 drones over the Belgorod region, and 1 drone over the Lipetsk region. Quite a massive attempt, massive scale of attack on Russian Federation conducted by NATO, obviously. And because once again, dear friends, maybe some new members are watching this video and they are a bit confused. Why NATO? Why I'm saying it's a NATO strike? And the reason is that without NATO providing drones themselves and also flight paths and targeting data, Kiev regime has no means, technical means, by the way, to orchestrate such attacks. It's just that simple, right? All this information, satellite navigation, targeting data, flight path is provided by NATO, and drones are provided by NATO. So it's a NATO strike, right? And there, NATO is using Kiev regime as just their proxy, basically for plausible deniability, right? To point the finger at Zelensky and his criminal associates, that it's them, not us. That's all. It's a NATO strikes, obviously. And unfortunately, some drones seems like did manage to bypass our defense systems, and in number of directions, residential areas were struck. We have this report from RIA Novosti, for example, that 3 people were killed as a result of attack by Ukrainian armed forces on the Rostov region with the attack with the drones. Let me give you details on that. So 3 people were killed in attack by Ukrainian armed forces on the Rostov region. Governor Yuri Slusar reported on the Telegram, the enemy attacker this night brought her great grief. He wrote, 1 person died in Taganrog, another 10 residents of Taganrog and Nikolsky district sustained various injuries. 2 of their injured were treated at their scene, while the others were hospitalized. Slusar later reported that 2 of their wounded died in a hospital. So in Rostov region, casualty number reached death toll reached 3 and dozens were wounded as a result of this NATO strike on Russia. RIA Novosti is also reporting that Kuban region of the Russian Federation, southern Russia, by the way, suffered one of the most massive attacks by the Kiev regime, I will add by NATO. Krasnodar Krai suffered one of the most sustained and massive attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces, injuring 6 people and damaging at least 20 homes in 5 municipalities. Governor Veniamin Kondratiev reported on Telegram, and we have a quote from his report, overnight, the Krasnodar region suffered one of the Kiev regime's most protracted and massive attacks. 6 residents of the region were injured, and there are at least 20 homes in 5 municipalities were damaged, he wrote. Kondratiev clarified that resources are certainly, rescuers are certainly currently extinguishing fire on the roof of their apartment building in Tuapse. Security guard from a neighboring building was also injured by shrapnels, but after receiving first aid, he refused their hospitalization And I can give you some videos that are circulating on internet about last night's strikes by NATO on residential areas of the Russian Federation in southern Russia. Numerous videos are circulating, by the way, on internet, but I will share with you at least some of them. So, well, unfortunately, seems like StreamYard don't want to see those videos or don't want to acknowledge existence of those videos, which is strange to say the least. I have never experienced this kind of lag on this program. But I will show you anyways, dear friends. I will I will try to copy these videos once again. Let's see if StreamYard sees them now. Okay, it does. Strange to say the least. So this is one video, for example. You can see high-rise apartment building was struck directly by NATO. And I can show you another one.
Ебать! Ты что, дура?
I will take out noise there. So direct hit on residential building again. Most likely you will never ever see this kind of videos in the Western so-called media, by the way, 100%. They are ignoring completely these war crimes that intentionally are committed by NATO and NATO proxy and key regime against Russian civilians. And when it comes to work of Russian air defense systems past night, I can show you also this video that depicts several seconds of active work of air defenses in Novorossiysk, for example. Air defense with deployed according to reports that I see, this is Novorossiysk, by the way, work of air defenses in Novorossiysk. So that's what is happening, by the way. Yet another terrorist attack on Russian Federation conducted by NATO with the direct involvement of NATO, of course, and hopefully they will come when all these NATO countries that are directly involved in this proxy war against Russia and killing of Russian citizens will pay as heavy price as possible. Hopefully that day will come. I'm all for revenge, by the way, on all those NATO countries that are engaged in this war against Russia. And I will always support any hostile actions against those NATO countries by Russia and by any other country. Revenge has to happen, period. Last night, dear friends, Russian militaries conducted retaliatory strike, but unfortunately not on involved NATO states, but on Kiev-controlled territory only, at least for now. That's what is happening. And one of the directions of Russian retaliatory strikes was Odessa region and also Kiev. And I can show you some videos that are circulating on internet about this last night retaliatory strikes of the Russian Federation. Let's see if StreamYard will let me open these videos. So this is launch of Caliber missiles complex warship right now. According to reports, this particular warship name is unknown, but this particular warship launched at least 8 Caliber missiles to strike on military, logistical, and energy infrastructure of the Kiev regime. There are some videos that are depicting arrival of some of the missiles. Reports are that not just Caliber cruise missiles, but also Kinzhal hypersonic missiles were launched to strike enemy. And these are, for example, one of the strikes. And I can give you another video. So that's another one. So there was retaliation, by the way. There was retaliation from Russian militaries for this large-scale attack on Russian Federation past night. But unfortunately, Russian militaries retaliated only on Kiev-controlled territory, which is sad, of course. If it's a war, by the way, proxy war or whatever we're going to call it, I think it only makes sense if Russia strikes back on countries that are involved in this war. Who gives a fuck if those countries are NATO member states or not? They are attacking Russia, and we have to retaliate and bring the pain to those countries, period. There is nothing to really discuss there, but unfortunately, Russian leadership thinks other way. Okay, it's their decision. They are Russian leadership, not me. But I'm quite sure very many people here in Russia are too frustrated, extremely frustrated with this kind of attitude when we are only striking on a Kiev-controlled territory, no matter what kind of provocation NATO gonna come up with, and what kind of hostilities they're gonna commit. I remind you that Russia did not retaliate on the NATO states that were involved, even on attack on Russian nuclear triad. US and UK, first of all, which is insane, right? After that, I guess nuclear deterrent is no longer a thing. It's just empty words, because US and UK do not care to attack even nuclear triad, even nuclear forces of Russia, which is insane. Yes, but it's factual still, right? Nevertheless. Anyways, things might change, things might change.